Yo, what's good, team? It's your boy Vade, aka Pro Bench Warmer, and I'm bringing you Season 4, Week 4 of the RBL, the Reddit Battle League. Now, this week we were supposed to be facing the Houston Tynamo, but they retired and a new team picked up. We got the Steel City Snorlax, coached by David, aka Recon Jack. Really great battler, really great guy. He came over from the RED League, which is another league here on YouTube, and holy crap, he changed the entirety of the team that we built against. Like, when we pick up a new team, we tell them they get 6 free trades and then their 3 free agency trades. So he used all of them, and he switched threats around like Mega Gardevoir, Magnezone, Hydreigon, Delphox, Greninja, and so on. Those all left the team, and now we're facing against a team that consists of Mega Aggron, Conkeldurr, Latios, Rotom, Acelgor, Flareon, Frostlass, Weezing, Donphan, just a bunch of threats. Crocodile, Dodrio. I think that's the whole team. If I'm missing some part of the team, that's because I built for them, but it was very hard. Just changing the entire team that we had brought was crazy. We had a little bit of time. I think we had like probably like an extra 4 days to build, but IRL stuff, we got to deal with that first. So I'm gonna explain the team that I brought this week from right to left, because that's the order that I switched the mons up. You'll see as it goes on, you'll see like I get a little bit more relaxed. So the first one you see here is the Electros. The Electros is actually Life Orb, 236 speed, max special attack, the rest in HP. The 236 speed, I believe that's the speed that we put in this. Timid nature to outspeed defensive Rotom, and then the rest in special attack, because it got to hit hard. Life Orb was to be able to actually break down Mega Aggron, whatever variant it is. We are packing Discharge, Flamethrower, Giga Drain, and U-Turn to be able to pivot on things like Crocodile and Donphan, so we don't have to constantly click our electric type move. Discharge just to get some paras, because my team, though it is pretty fast, when you look at Virizion, you look at things like Tentacruel, look at things like Tornadus, the paras, if I get any, will help mons like Omastar in the process, and I'll actually help out Tentacruel, since Tentacruel is not any speed investment, and so on and so forth. It just puts things in better perspective when I'm battling against the team. That's what I was putting Discharge there for. The next one that we put was Spiritomb. Spiritomb is max HP, I think a good 180 physical defense, and the rest in special defense. Bold nature, rocking out with Shadow Ball, Sucker Punch, Calm Mind, and Pain Split. This set was to ensure that my hazards stay on the field. Originally, when I was building, I had Stealth Rocks on the team, then I took Stealth Rocks off the team, and I have hazards on the team now. I'll get into that soon. I wanted to make sure that his spinners would not be able to spin the hazards away. Enough bulk to take on Donphan, enough bulk to take on things like Conkeldurr, that gave my team the shakes a bit, especially when he got the guts boost. So I did not pack the Wisp on this. I was very iffy on packing Wisp, but I decided not to pack Wisp. I decided Calm Mind, since I can Calm Mind and Pain Split up on Conkeldurr. The Sucker Punch is there because of Acelgor, because of Frostlass, because we are black glasses and those things set up spikes, and spikes is going to be a bitch. So I brought Sucker Punch so that I can limit the amount of spikes that are on my side to 1. Like Shadow Ball into Sucker Punch should be able to take out his spike stackers, and then Pain Split, Shadow Ball, and Calm Mind was able to put some decent dents in team, so that the rest of my team can actually pick up the kills. The next mon we have is a specially defensive Tentacruel, especially defensive to take on things like Whimsicott. Of course, we're Liquid Ooze this week. Take on things like Whimsicott, take on things like crap, I forgot what else. Acelgor, if it's like a weakness policy set, take on things like Rotom Wash. We could take Thunderbolts. We could take Volt Switches. Just there's especially defensive with Scald, Toxic Spike, Sludge Bomb, and Rapid Spin. Now Toxic Spikes was there so that I know I was fearing the guts on Conkeldurr, but having toxic damage on it rather than burn damage means that Conkeldurr can't stay in for too long. Also, it puts things like Moxie, Scarf, Krook on a timer, because it cannot stay in and just keep getting Moxies up. It will rack up damage somehow, some way, and his only poison type is Wheezing, and it does not touch the floor, so he would have to Rapid Spin away the he has Latios, so he would have to defog or Rapid Spin away the Toxic Spikes, which puts Donphan in a position where it can never get its 30 back, which was something I was really considering, really hoping that I can get happening. He didn't bring Donphan. Well, I had to play around that. The next Mon is Virizion. It's a very interesting Virizion. Max special attack, max speed, timid nature with Giga Drain, Focus Blast, Reflect, and Light Screen. With Light Clay. Now this set was very weird. I knew I needed Virizion because Virizion put in a lot of work against the team. However, I didn't know what moves I needed past a grass type move plus a fighting type move and probably something to hit Wheezing. I was gonna run Zen Headbutt, but it still does nothing to a physically defensive Wheezing. So I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna touch Wheezing. My answer is setting up screens so that the rest of my mons can actually handle Wheezing. So that's why I just put screens on it, put Light Clay. It was a last minute decision, and you'll see. Sorry about that. And you'll see if it comes into play. Next mon is just a White Herb Shell Smashing Omastar with Ancient Power, Hydro Pump, and Ice Beam. This pretty much swept the team. Once I can get rid of Conkeldurr or once I can get rid of Rotom Wash, which is why I put a lot of emphasis on, walling, being able to handle Conkeldurr and weaken it, being able to outspeed defensive Rotom Wash, because I need those out of the way in order for Omastar to put in work. The last one we brought is AV Torn, standard AV Torn, 160 special attack, 96 HP, 252 speed. Not naive nature. I'm timid because I ran nothing with special attacks. This turn I ran Air Slash, Heat Wave, U-turn for initiative, and I believe I ran Focus Blast to be able to hit Conkeldurr, to be able to hit Crocodile for good damage before I get like Pursuit Trapped or Stone Edged or what have you. So let's get into this match. I'm looking at my matchup. I'm looking at his team. He is rocking out with the Acelgor, Conkeldurr, Wheezing, Rotom Wash, sorry about that, Crocodile, and Mega Aggron. I look at the team matchup. I'm like, okay, I don't know if Omastar can win, because he did bring the Rotom Wash, he did bring the Conkeldurr. I don't know if Omastar can win. Sorry about that. So I was very worried from team matchup, but I did see that I'm looking at the team. I'm like, okay, so I can lead Spiritomb, because Spiritomb has a pretty good matchup against everything on my opponent's team, and also can threaten things around when it comes to him thinking that I have Wisp. Also with Sucker Punch, I can stop Acelgor from getting up too many spikes. So I'm gonna press play and I'm gonna pause to explain my plays. So he leads Acelgor. I lead off my Spiritomb. He cannot touch me from much, and he goes for U-turn. I did not expect U-turn at all. I thought he'd set up a spike or anything, but predicting him to think, okay, he doesn't do much damage to Spiritomb. Maybe I'm a physically offensive Spiritomb, because that is a set with Pursuit or whatever, what have you. I just went for Calm Mind. I don't really worry about one spike. I wasn't really worried about one spike. I can Calm Mind just to bluff the special set and then hit him with a Sucker Punch. It'll bring it down to Sash. So that was the game plan there. But he U-turns out, which is okay. I don't have leftovers on this, but I'm pretty sure I can take a hit from anything else plus this U-turn. So I'm free. There's a free Calm Mind setup. He goes into Conk. I'm like, this is fine. I'm just going to fire off a Shadow Ball to get some damage off this thing, because it cannot touch me much. Knockoff does 29%, does really nothing, and I get some damage on Conkeldurr, which is fine. Now he switches out, I guess fearing the Wisp, but I guess it would have activated Guts. I'm not too sure why he switched out Conkeldurr. It took the damage. Well, sorry about that. While it did not do much damage to me in return, it can hit me with like repetitive ice punches to keep me low and stuff like that, and then switch into a Mon when I have to click pain split and then answer back. But he switches into Aggron. Now, if he was fearing the Wisp, this is not the Mon I would have expected him to switch into. As I just fire off another Shadow Ball, I felt that was like free enough. I go for a Shadow Ball. This is 40% and gets the Spadef drop. So because of the Spadef drop, he will switch out, and he switches down to Weezing. I'm thinking this is specially defensive, but by this damage, it is not specially defensive. And another one will definitely kill it. So he has to switch out, and he switches down to Rotom Wash. Now by this point, if you guys are keeping track, I just weakened Conkeldurr, Weezing, Rotom Wash, and Aggron with Spiritomb, and this was big, allowing me to play a little bit more freer because the things that I was afraid of do have damage on them. Like Conkeldurr does has damage on them. Rotom Wash has a good chunk of damage on it, like 40% essentially damage on it. And with the special defense raise, I knew I could take a Volt Switch or whatever. He'd have to click Hydro Pump in order to kill me at this point, to have a chance of killing me at this point. So I just stay in and I click Shadow Ball and just get some damage off. That was Spiritomb's whole role. He doesn't have a rapid spinner, so Spiritomb's rapid spinning possibilities are really not that prevalent here. And then I just needed for a Selgor, but I felt like stacks with spikes weren't gonna harm me too much because I still had Tentacruel in the back to spin them away. So I was like, all right, no problem. So I'm just gonna fire off a Shadow Ball here as he Volt Switches instead of Hydro Pumps, and with the crit does not kill. He goes into a Selgor, and with this Shadow Ball, there's a clean 60%, and that's definitely in range of Sucker Punch, and there will be no hazards on my side for this match, which is great. He switches in Krookodile with when I saw Intimidate, I was like, okay, maybe this might be Intimidate choice ban, which is what I run in UU. So I was like, okay, this might be choice banded. I go into my Virizion because I can take the Earthquake, I can take the Knockoff, I can take the Crunch, Stone Edge, whatever. I resist all three of those very, very well. And if he is Rocks, he out with my typing. So I'm gonna click play. So I switch into Virizion. He goes for Knockoff, giving me the attack boost, and now he saw the Light Glade pop off. But because I got the attack boost, he's definitely not staying in, not at all. So I'm free to just click Focus Blast. That's a safe play here. So he goes into Weezing. Weezing is really low, and I missed the Focus Blast here, which is unfortunate, but it's okay because it would have done pitiful damage to Weezing anyway. As I switch into my Tentacruel to take the Sludge Wave, I was expecting Sludge Bomb, but I guess it's an offensive Weezing, as we have not seen Black Sludge recovery or leftover recovery on it. I do recover Black Sludge here, and he switches out, which is a free opportunity to get up a Toxic Spike here. I get one layer of Toxic Spike up, and he goes into Rotom Wash. I'm like, all right, no problem, as I can just switch into my Electros here on the predicted Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. He goes for Thunderbolt, does negligible damage, and I see the leftovers here. I'm like, great, it's defensive. I'm gonna go for the Giga Drain with the crit. It almost kills, but you see we outsped, and we needed that as Rotom is very much weakened. He goes for the Wisp here, I guess to get residual damage, but I guess Volt Switch would have been the better play. I go for Discharge because I know it's gonna kill from this range, and it hurts anything that switches in. He does not want to switch in Krook after I switched. I just went for Giga Drain, so he switches into Mega Aggron. I'm thinking especially defensive. Let me just get a Flamethrower off anyway. Flamethrower does a lot as he curses up on me. Now, I don't really agree with this play, only because Mega Aggron cannot touch Electros at all unless he's running like Avalanche. It's like the only way. The standard set, Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Curse, and Rest, or Rest Talk, Heavy Slam. Rest Talk, Curse, Heavy Slam does not touch Electros at all for any damage. It resists that, and plus is immune to Earthquake, as I can get big damage off while you try to set up. So I didn't agree with the setting up. I guess he probably thought that he would outspeed, but that would take a lot of EVs and speed, which if you're going for Curse, you're not gonna be running any EVs and speed. So I don't know why he cursed here, but it's okay, as Electros just weakens it, and then I can just freely go for Discharge here to drop it drop another Mon. While it did nothing to me, Electros is in and he got 2 kills. That's great. So now we got Krookodile that's poisoned. And let me explain this play because it took a while for me to make this play. So I was like, okay, Electros is in. Electros took out the mons that I needed to take out. The only other thing that it can possibly do is weaken the Weezing. But at this point, I am up by a lot and he's down 3. So I have my other ways of handling Weezing in the back. So Weezing is not that big of a threat to me, but the Krookodile in front of me is. So I went for Giga Drain here, hoping that if Krookodile predicts me to switch out, because he knows he can kill me with any hit if he sees that I'm offensive life orb. So I know he knows he can kill me with any hit. So he probably will set rocks expecting me to switch as I go for the Giga Drain. But he makes a good play. He goes for the Stone Edge. It lands. Even if it missed, that would have been great, and I would have got some damage off. But he's already poisoned, so he's already put on a timer. So I was like, Electros did its job. I'm not too worried about Electros, so I can sack it right here. So I dropped the Stone Edge here. It's fine. I know he's not Moxie. He gets damage from Toxic. I can go into Virizion and instantly threaten this thing out all the time. As he goes into Conkeldurr this time, and I go for the Focus Blast, land it, and get the Spadef drop, which is crazy. As now I can freely just go for Giga Drain to drop the Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr didn't do much in this match, as he is forced to go back into Krookodile because that's the only one that, well, he could have went into Weezing there, but it wouldn't have done much. I go for Giga Drain, it drops this thing significantly, and Earthquake doesn't do much. So he could just drop to poison damage. I could have just set up screens here, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make the offensive play. It's whatever. He's last mon Weezing. I have 5 mons and it's already below half, so I wasn't too worried of the Weezing. I got the sludge away. I got the light screen up. I switch into my Omastar. When the Weezing Sludge Wave does nothing to me, I go for the Shell Smash here because I did not want to risk Hydro missing and then he have like Willow or something. I think he goes for the Haze here, which is smart. I wanted to just click Ancient Power, so I just click Ancient Power. This clean 37%. It's a 2-hit KO from this range, and he cannot do any damage to me. I was fearing the Thunderbolt Weezing. I know Weezing gets Thunderbolt or something like that, so I was kind of worried about that, which is why I went for Light Screen, and then I went for Shell Smash, just trying to get as much damage off while still living. There was very little he could have done to bring the match back at that point. It was very much in the bag for me, but I wanted to ensure the victory. So we do win 5-0. Now this is crazy because our first match we could have won 6-0, we won 4-0, and then we lost 2 matches in a row, and now we win 5-0. So the wins we do have are very much in our favor, while the losses have been like a misplay or maybe our opponent just over prepping the hell out of us. Like they outplayed us like crazy. Like Stibe really did his thing. But that's it for this match. I mean, there's not much to explain about this. Our next match is going to be the San Diego Charizards, so look out for that coming soon. I'm going to take a seat. Peace.